here today and to get out with a win. Your thoughts?
First and foremost, I want to tip my hat to Coach Nofri and his staff at Sacred Heart. We scored 44 points and we held them down, and we earned every inch. And we had to fight for every inch. That's a well-coached football team. They're tough, they're disciplined, and that's a tough draw. So that was a very, very tough opponent and a quality opponent in the first round. But I think our kids did a fantastic job preparing this week. I think they gave tremendous effort. And, I think for the most part we executed well. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't clean, but no game is. And the three things we talked about this week: urgency, energy, and precision. And we had great urgency. Kids flew around. They understood the magnitude of the game and the importance of it, with this being a single elimination tournament. And like I said, you talk about execution and precision. It wasn't as precise as we needed to be moving forward, but it was good enough to beat a quality opponent. And all the credit goes to these guys. They did a fantastic job, and a senior-driven team, and it's great that we've been to this point. And I think now moving forward, we're going to have a bit of a point of reference on how we need to prepare for this next game.
Is that, I guess, what you were about expecting from Sacred Heart?
Absolutely. I mean, you watch those guys on film, and defensively, they're allowing 16 points a game, 279 yards, and they lead the country, I believe, in tackles for loss. And I don't know for certain, but I would guess they blitzed over 75% of the game, if not more. So, they did a great job, doing some things to take away the run game and made it tough for Chase. But Michael and the receivers and the tight ends and the O-line stepped up and did a great job. And obviously R.J. Noel, Tyler Doobie, and Kashada Spencer as advertised. It was just a great job by both sides of the ball and special teams to put together a great team effort and come out with our second ever home FCS playoff win.
Coach, you started both halves really quickly, scoring 14 in the first. Was that something you emphasized prior to the game?
We talk all the time about start fast, finish strong, and I think a lot of that is, some of it's a byproduct of the right play called at the right time. I think we scored on 2 of our first 3 possessions and did some good things in the pass game, and then we sputtered a little bit and then got it going again. But that's also, is in concert with what they do defensively. A lot of plays you're going to get zeros or ones or negatives. And by the same time, with some of the gambles they take, it's going to give you an opportunity to make some big plays. So you weren't seeing steady, consistent games throughout the game. You're seeing, a couple, 2, 3 here, maybe negative play, then a big chunk. So I think that's, byproduct of what we do, as it relates to what they do defensively.
Joe, after a really fast start, they kind of carried play for a while, and Michael threw an interception, which couldn't help. The press box was very small, and the assistant coaches were screaming. I must have been over the thing, but the way he threw a perfect pass in the corner to end the half, they came out and throws a long one again. Could you talk a little about how a senior kind of reacts and regains composure and during the course of a big game like that?
I think you fall back on your habits, you fall back on your training and your coaching, and Michael has done a fantastic job. Since obviously, for the time that myself and Coach Browner have known him, he's always been blessed with tremendous physical skills, the ability to throw the ball, the ability to run, the ability to be accurate, and to make plays. And I think the biggest growth with Michael over the past 2 years or 3 years has been, he and Coach Browner working on the mental aspect of the game and kind of the game within the game from a mental standpoint. So. You got to have a short memory at that position, because you make a bad play, and much like corner, you can't go in a tank. You got to put it behind you and understand why you did it, or what was wrong, and how to correct it. But Michael's done a fantastic job, and he's one of the best players in the country, and he played like it today.
Mike, it's been an interesting month for you. How important was it to get back out there today and to lead your team into the second round?
I think it was important for me from a mental standpoint, really. I kind of, in the Army game, I kind of rushed getting back, but, I felt good enough to play, and I felt like I had to play. So it was nice this week coming out of the game and actually feeling pretty good. Obviously, I took some shots there, but, this is probably the best I've felt coming out of a game in a while. So, that's a big lift in confidence going forward.
How about the satisfaction to beat a team like the coach just talked about and win what you guys won today? I mean, the feeling when you walk off the field of what you've really accomplished. Can you talk about that kind of feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a satisfying win. You know, like he said, we fought for every single inch offensively. I mean, that is a very, very good defense, and they had a great scheme, you know, ready for us, and you know, they knocked us around a little bit there. So, you know, putting 44 points up and coming off the field, you know, being a little mad at yourselves, you know, that's always a good feeling. So it's a very satisfying win for us, and you know, we got a lot of stuff to clean up for New Hampshire, but we'll be ready to go.
Same thing, same question for me.
I think it was awesome. It was a battle out there today, and that's what we come out here for. We come out here as a brotherhood, and we want to go against another brotherhood, you know, and just to come out victorious, that's always a great feeling.
So when you walk off the field, did you have the same feeling that you had? I mean, it was a tough game. You kind of, as he said, laid it all out there. Did you kind of feel that coming out when you're jumping up and down and celebrating?
I agree totally with what Mike said.
I'm exhausted. I feel like I fought 15
words,
minutes.
though.
Well, I mean, just like Mike said, it's an awesome feeling. But at the end of the day, we know we still got corrections to make, so we could be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And nobody is perfect, but that's our goal always.
Joe, the wear and tear of the season, you see guys get hurt and battle back like Mike did. Others have had to have other players in the team step up and play in their place. Just how proud are you at this point in the season that whatever the mentality is, the guys are always ready, and you've been able to battle through whatever adversity has faced you guys so far?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to the things we've talked about since, you know, fall camp and our philosophy of next man in. And I mean, I can't count on two hands the number of guys that have gone down and started from your All-American Defensive Player of the Year in fall camp, and having George Dawson and Denard Pinckney step up. I mean, the list goes on and on. Michael goes down, and Peter leads us to two of the most important league wins of the season. You know, Danny Light is out, and Adam Malkowitz came in today, performed admirably, and then he got hurt. Faison Odom, our third tight end, went in, and we didn't miss a beat. But I think that's the culture that we've tried to create here, that we neither give nor accept excuses. And I told the guys that last night. I mean, no matter what happens, don't flinch. And you're going to fall back on your habits and fall back on your foundation and all the things that we've done over the past 3 years with intangibles and intangibles, so that when you're faced with a situation and you're faced with adversity, you're falling back on all those things. And, you know, you turn the phase on, all right, you're in, let's go. And then no one's looking for an excuse and no one's giving an excuse. That's just the way this program operates. And once again, it's a credit to our kids for their belief in the things that we deem as important to being successful. And, you know, they're not going to make an excuse because we're not going to accept one. And, you know, that's a credit to them.
Mike, could you talk a little about the 97-yard touchdown pass? I would assume that you probably haven't had many longer than that in your career.
Yeah, well, it was something we talked about actually maybe 2 or 3 drives before the end of the first half. It was something that me and the wideouts were really talking about and getting a shot because we had good leverage with Tabaki. And, you know, we didn't get it called there at the end of the first half. And, you know, we went into halftime, talked about it. You know, everybody felt good about it. So, you know, you really don't expect a team to take a shot from the 3-yard line. So we felt like it was a good situation to call it. And Tabaki got on top of the guy and then made a great play. And, you know, took it 97 yards, which is pretty awesome.
Ian, when Secret was in here, they talked about how they were never able to finish off drives. It seemed like you were always kind of in the area on third downs. Mm-hmm. So what was your kind of strategy, especially on third downs against the passing attack?
I just want to thank our coaches for putting us in the right position, and that's all I can thank. I can only thank them because they made the right calls to put me in a place that I can make a play, and the defense in the place to get us off the field. So it's all on them.
How does it feel when you catch a pass like that?
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I do. I can't lie about that. I even tell Nebrich I want to catch some balls from him sometimes.
He's always bugging me on Thursdays. He's bugging me on Thursdays and going, Coach, when am I going to play receiver?
So yeah, to get the opportunity to catch it in the game, I can't explain it.
How about when you're crossing the goal line?
Mm-hmm. Excuse me?
I said, when you make plays like that, you cross the goal line, it makes it even better.
Yeah, of course. I haven't had that chance to take a pick six yet, but I'm sure it will be amazing if I do get one. Yes, sir.
You guys did a good job of shutting down Doobie in the second half. I mean, you held him to one catch. What did you guys do differently with him?
Our coaches always just tell us to always work on our fundamentals and technique in practice, and I think it was just a great week of practice that put us in a great position to make plays.
I think the big thing with that is, I mean, you know, Dewey's an excellent receiver first and foremost, but you know, we came into halftime and You know, Jordan got a couple balls thrown on him there in the first half, and Dewey made some plays. And you know, we challenged the DBs. Like, we got to come out and, you know, you can't worry about, you know, a negative play in the first half and let that same play keep beating you over and over and over again. So we're not going to tell our kids things are fine when they're not.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're going to address the issues and work to fix them. You know, and I hope that's something that these kids have come to understand. That when we're on you and we're trying to coach you hard, you know, it's because we want you to do better. We're not going to accept mediocrity and say, oh yeah, that's okay. You know, and there were some things that we did in the first half, offensively, defense, special teams, that weren't acceptable. I think we did a good job identifying the issues at halftime, getting them corrected, and putting a plan together to you know, do better in the second half. And you know, they embraced those changes, and the kids did a fantastic job. Executing.